Hi, everyone. Welcome to Unfiltered Flow ELSC. I'm Meghann Cook. That's Alan Burdette. And today our guest on the show is Mr. Kyle Britton. Kyle is the president of Oil Air Products in beautiful Plymouth, Minnesota. Welcome, Kyle.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
Absolutely. So tell us, how'd you get started in the fluid power industry?
Well, to be honest, I was about as far away from the fluid power industry as possible coming out of school. I came out of high school, joined the military, fixed missile guidance systems for a while. I went to college for computer science and operations, became an operations manager and IT director at Oil Air Products, the company today. I worked my way up through the company, immediately thought fluid power was very interesting and learned as much as I could about it while I advanced my career. And here I am today, 27 years later.
27 years, you must have worked on some pretty interesting projects, Kyle. Could you maybe tell us what stands out most for you for the projects you've worked on over the years?
There's one. I mean, we've had a number of very large projects. The fluid power industry isn't super sexy, so you don't get a lot of fun ones. But we did have one where many years ago when they were renovating the New York Mets baseball stadium, they wanted to add a feature to the stadium. So we were subcontracted to do the hydraulics on their stadium. And what they wanted was every time a New York Mets player hit a home run, they wanted this big red apple to come out of the stands and shoot sparks and do all this other stuff. So we started off with this red apple sitting in a Minnesota cornfield and designed it and built it. And ultimately, I think it's still there today. I think when you see a New York Mets baseball player hit a home run, I don't know whether that's a lot or very few, but when they hit a home run, that apple comes out of the stands and sparks fly, and that's our design.
Nice. So 27 years is a long tenure, Kyle. What are you seeing now with the changes in smart technology and IoT and how it's impacting machinery today versus when you got into the game?
Well, I mean, in the past, everything was hands-on. You didn't have any data collection. You didn't have any remote indicators. I mean, everything was, I'll say, reactionary. You did your preventive maintenance. You were able to throw some test points on maybe and do some testing, but it was very manual. Now, the data collection's become very easy. It's become very detailed. You can access everything on your phone or kind of wherever you want. So it's very powerful. So that can help, if you have design flaws, you're having spikes, you're having different issues going on with your system, you'll know that real time, and you can also use that on a predictive level to do maintenance so that you don't have downtime. And it's only growing. It's only getting larger. It's going to keep going. There's nothing we're going to do to stop it at this point, and it's a good thing.
So, Kyle, for those people looking to stay ahead in the fluid power industry, what skills or knowledge should they focus on to be most successful during the next 5 years?
Well, I think what we just talked about is going to have to be something that's incorporated into the schools, and then B, in the people's skill set is the IT technology and the data collection technology. I also think we have to open our eyes a little bit to electrification and the influence that's going to have on mobile equipment. We've had a couple of projects already where we've had to get into that world, and fluid power guys don't have any idea what that world is. So we're going to have to try to bridge that at some point over the years, because it's not going away, especially on the work side of things. It's one thing to have the entire vehicle be like electric, but if you have the work that's being done on a vehicle being electric, that's going to happen probably faster than the vehicle itself. So it's just something that we have to be kind of prepared for. I think the last thing is probably all of our mobile OEMs want to be faster, more powerful. I want to be able to go through the field at 35 miles an hour and spray. And even in my history, pressures have gone from standard operating at 1,000, 1,500 to 3,000. Now we're up to 6,000. We're talking about 7,000 and 8,000, and with that comes a lot of problems. So I think those are things we're going to have to talk about. There's a lot more contamination issues when you're up at pressures that high. There's a lot more fatigue of product. So you're really pushing the limits of what parts and products can do.
For sure. What do you see is the biggest challenge right now in the fluid power industry?
I think to some degree, globalization is becoming challenging. I think you're seeing a lot more product flowing in from other countries. Has that been, what's the quality of product? Hasn't been tested. So it's a challenge to control the quality of our industry right now, because there's just a lot more Me Too's around than maybe there used to be. Obviously, tariffs are going to be a big challenge. You know, been thrust right into the spotlight now, and quite frankly, in the fluid power world, uh, we get a lot of stuff from overseas. We build a lot of stuff here, but a lot of stuff comes from overseas, and that's going to be a challenge going forward about how we react to that, how we redesign the fluid power industry based on what happens here over the next years to come, I guess. I think that's going to be a challenge. And then obviously, like I said earlier, designing new products to just meet the demands of these very highly integrated high pressure machines is going to require some new designs of products that we don't have yet.
What do you see as your biggest hiring challenges, Kyle? If you had to pick one, qualified candidates, retention, time to hire, the onboarding process, what are you seeing?
I think our industry, from an employee standpoint, has been shrinking. Less people are getting in our industry. I think people like myself and other business leaders of fluid power companies have to get a little more aggressive as far as getting kids out of high school, get them into fluid power schools, pay for their schools if you have to, get them on like an internship. We need to reflood our industry with young talent, and then that young talent over the course of time becomes the talent that we're looking for right now. And the talent we're looking for right now is very sparse. You're not finding guys in the industry 10, 20, 30 years because there's a big gap in the industry. A lot of folks are retiring and there's just not replacements currently. But I think we've been successful finding the people we want. I think we've done a very good job at that. We have promoted through schools. Once we get them in the door, they typically stay with us for many reasons, but there are a lot of opportunities out there. So keeping those employees can be challenging because they're being enticed all the time to go somewhere else.
Yeah, right.
Typically, once we get them here, we're fine. It's just trying to find them and trying to find that unique talent that fits in our industry.
Very good. Well, Kyle, we really appreciate your time. I know you're very busy with other things to do. So thank you very much for taking the time with us today. We appreciate it.
I appreciate you guys having me. Thank you.
Have a good day.
You too.